Okay, so this example here is a Year 7 science lesson that was created for learning from home. And one of the things for us to look at, yeah, thanks, Janice, that's easier, is the instructions for the students have been given alongside a PDF worksheet. And the instruction is the worksheet is revision on solids, liquids, and gases, and the students have been asked to answer. Let's see if I can just hide where I'm talking here. The students have been asked to answer on a Word document and submit via Canvas or email. So the first thing that went through my mind was we've got students working on 2 different documents here. So they need to open the PDF and then they need to create a second Word document. And that in itself creates some challenges because students are either having to maximize and minimize so that they can flick between 2 documents. Unless they know how to have a split screen, or they're working from dual monitors, which I'm thinking is unlikely for most Year 7 students. But the other thing are the skills that you need to have to create another document, particularly when some of the responses aren't just typed text. So I'll just get rid of that arrow. So let's go and have a look at the PDF and see what some of the challenges may be. So there's a lot of text to read, first of all, although it is revision. So the students will be familiar with much of the content here. But when we, I think first page, what are the 3 states of matter? Okay, so that'll be a written response. When we go on to the second page, they have a diagram and they've been asked to redraw the diagrams using the model. I'll just highlight where I'm looking here. Redraw the diagrams using the model for each state of matter after they are put into a different shaped container. So we're actually asking our students to do multiple things here. If they're working in a separate document and it's a Word document, they need to create these images, and then they need to know how to draw circles or insert shapes. So for some of our kids, that might create a stumbling block where they're needing to email their teacher back and say, how do I answer this question? How do I draw? Or for some students, they may actually draw this on a piece of paper, and then they'll need to scan the document and emailing it back to our teacher. So something that is relatively quick to answer, we're actually making it quite a lengthy task. And the risk there is that we're going to lose some of our learners along the way, or they may become so focused on the drawing and getting it set up correctly that they're losing sight of the focus of the learning, which is, can they redraw states of matter from a large receptacle to a smaller receptacle. So a quick fix solution that I came up for this worksheet was to remove that barrier of the students having to provide their answers in a separate document to the worksheet. So I was thinking, is there a way that we can, I'll just get rid of that arrow there. Is there a way that we can allow our students to answer the questions quickly and move through the activity? Also thinking, remembering that it is revision. The teacher had also provided in Canvas some additional videos for students to look at. And so I thought, well, this is an opportunity to, rather than have those positioned somewhere else, why not add the URLs into the worksheet so that the students can view the video and then go ahead and answer the questions. I put answer boxes in. I think for some of our students, having a box to put your answer in can give them an indication of how much writing needs to be in there. Maybe these boxes are larger than they need to be. But they're quite short answers. So Janice, if we can just scroll to the next page. And this is how you can see I overcame that barrier of having to draw these images in a Word document. So I created it in a Word document and added the instructions for students that they just needed to click on the dots below the empty vessels and pop them in to recreate their model of what they think the state of matter would look like in each of those. So it's nice and quick. It allows them to just focus on the learning. What would this look like? Rather than how am I going to construct this? And that's the whole point of changing an inaccessible worksheet to an accessible worksheet, is to allow the focus to be on the learning. And the learning in this instance is around states of matter.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So the revision exercise could be done relatively quickly, and then the evidence of learning emailed straight back to the teacher without creating a separate document. So something that went through my mind here was, if you were the teacher and you've identified that there's a helpful revision sheet that you want your students to look at, before you share it with your students, ask yourself, how are they going to engage with this? And if you can see that there are potential barriers or problems with the way they're going to interact with the sheet, how can you remove those barriers yourself as the teacher? And looking at the example we shared, just changing it into a Word document. And if you think that that's going to be too lengthy for you to create as a teacher, it raises that question, why would we be asking our students to do that as well? And maybe there are other ways that they could demonstrate their learning. Maybe they could record themselves just doing a drawing on a piece of paper and share that with the teacher. So it's just asking ourselves, before we send a PDF, how do we want our students to interact with it? Are there other ways that allow us to just focus on the learning rather than adding extra challenges for them?